The theme music's over. Hey, everybody. Salam alaikum. Welcome back.
Welcome, everyone.
It's another week, another episode of Nothing But The Truth. That lady sitting right over there, that's my lovely wife. That's Sister Teasha.
Right. And that man right there, that's my handsome husband, Brother Jamil.
All right. Well, we're ready to start a program.
Yes, we are.
We keep telling each other we're beautiful and handsome. We ain't going to have no problem around here.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you start telling nothing but the truth, never mind. So we want to make sure we keep moving and grooving tonight. You know the routine. You know how we do it. Everybody get in that chat, get in that comment bar, and let us know where you're watching from. We want to know what city you're calling in from or what city you're reaching out to us from. Whether you're watching us on Facebook, on Nothing But The Truth, or Facebook at Brother Jamil, or Facebook at Sister Teasha. We're there. Now, afterwards, we've got YouTube, and Sister Teasha is going to tell you a little bit more about that in just a second, but I'm happy to see y'all line it up. Here we come. Detriment Muhammad's first one out the gate. She's in shock, letting us know what's happening. Thank you, sister. Our brother in Oakland, California, Brother William Muhammad. Good to see you, big brother. Hey, there's my nephew, Brother Jihad Ahmed from Philadelphia. Good to see you in the WURD family. Hey, Brother Crystal Flex is with us all the way from Boston.
Everybody.
You can't do nothing without Crystal Flex. How about Sister Natasha down in Greensboro, North Carolina? And Sister Diana, the real Sister Diana from Chicago, Illinois. She's right here in the house with Deja Vu Designs. Look at Denise. That's my mother-in-law. I got a moment of pause now. Man, got to look out when his mother-in-law come on the line. Good to see you, darling. Okay? Yes, indeed. But we are here tonight to, once again, embrace the best in who we are and talk a little bit more about the things that we can do together that will help our people, help us, help our families, and really help humanity. So before we get to doing too much do-gooding, we want to make sure everybody feels comfortable. Get your tea. Make sure you're all ready to sip it here. You know, have a sip there.
Get your coffee.
Get your coffee. Make sure you're ready to go. Hey, there's Brother Mike Reeves, my brother. Good to see you, Brother Mike from Philadelphia. We are all on the line and ready to proceed. Brother Naeem, thank you for checking in with us from Hartford, Connecticut. Sister Marquita from out there in Akron, Ohio. So many brothers and sisters.
Everybody's on.
Everybody and Lottie Dottie is on. And you know why we have a very special guest. We'll tell you more about him in just a moment. Teasha, what else do we have on our agenda this evening?
Well, tonight, just a little housekeeping rules. I want to remind everybody to go and like, share, and subscribe on all the social media platforms that you have for us. We have a YouTube page. It's Nothing But The Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Teasha. And so we want to go over there, and we ask that you go over there and like, share, and subscribe so that we can get the numbers up and move up on this algorithm and reach, more people. Then we want you to go to the Facebook page too with the same name, Nothing But The Truth with Brother Jamil and Sister Teasha. Okay. All right. And then like, share, and subscribe. And then there's something else we're going to bring to you a little later on this evening and introduce a little bit of a technical process that we need you guys help with. So we'll talk about that a little bit later after we meet our special guest.
Okay, and he is in the building. He's ready to go. I have to tell you, though, it is so gratifying. Wait a minute, is that Big Wendell from Richmond, Virginia?
It is.
That's you, Wendell? Man, everybody's on tonight. Brother Jamal, my dear brother, all the way from Baltimore. Now he's the Prince of Harlem. He's with us right here on the broadcast. You don't know who you'll meet.
You don't know.
Nothing but the truth.
Did we shout out to Brother William? Because
we shouted out Brother William.
Okay.
Nephew.
Okay.
No, we want to make sure we shout out everybody. And we get a little ethnic with the shout outs. We know. Tom Joyner used to say we don't do shout outs on the Tom Joyner show. But if we did, and then they proceed to tell you who they would shout out if they did.
We do shout outs.
We do shout outs. We kind of real with it. We do the same thing all the time. We love you too. And we want to make sure when you come to these airwaves, you feel the love.
That's right.
No need for us to do anything other than show love and respect for each other. My sister-in-law Shantae is here. Brother Amir from Chicago and Apocalypse Brother Michael A. Muhammad, the bad bass man. They call him Mike Bass.
Mike Bass.
Have you heard? I don't know. I can't ask the special guest if I say his name, but I bet you he's heard Mike Bass. Mike Bass is up there doing damage on that thing.
He's in the house.
He started in D.C. and he's right there. There's Sister Nakia. Good to see you, Nakia. Hey, family. And so everybody's here.
All right.
All right. Well, not everybody. They're still coming in the room. We know that folks will still be adding on. But tonight we have a very, very special guest. And Teasha, if you don't mind, I'd like to get right into it. It's time in the program for us to bring him on. And we want to spend some time talking with him because he's a man who talks about culture. He talks about academics and intellectual prowess. He talks about the spiritual reality of what he does. And he carries himself as a man in a world which seems to be bent on breaking manhood down and destroying it.
Yes.
This is a man who is a family man, the man who comes from a family of very intelligent people. And we'll tell you a little bit more about him, but I want to just say before we introduce him with a special video introduction, this is our brother.
It is.
He's a cultural treasure of the Nation of Islam because he, working through the medium of music, helps to tie together people from everywhere. Brother Vernon, Sister Izebe, so good to see all of you coming in and welcome everybody. Just remember, like, keep commenting, share.
And subscribe.
And subscribe to YouTube, and that's how we'll do it. Okay? So, brother and sister, let's go to the video. I think you all know who our special guest is, but let's go to the video introduction. I want to tell you about my brother who's actually making his way in the world. Started this when he was 13, so he's true to this. He ain't new to this. Started when he was 13. He was DJ battling before he left out of high school. He saw Run DMC raising hell, and he decided he wanted to raise some hell too.
All right.
He's our brother, and he's raising the people who've been in hell by God's permission, and he's inspiring us and keeping us in the groove. Let's get that video on. Dave, what you got?
Assalamu alaikum. This is Brother Vaughn Muhammad of the Rockwell Radio Show. For years, I've been hearing the same thing from a lot of people. Brother Vaughn and DJ Rockwell are completely two different people. So I came up with a way to separate the both of us, and perhaps we can get along better if we try it this way. Introducing DJ Rockwell. What we're going to try to do is do this together and not get on one another's nerves. Every Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, check out your brother Vaughn Muhammad and this guy, DJ Rockwell.
Now I want to give you the man who stands where the music meets the mission, my brother, friend, colleague, and a comrade in this mission for now 25 years, brother. Wow. Let's bring him on. DJ Rockwell himself, Brother Vaughn A. Muhammad. Good to see you.
Salam alaikum.
Wow,
20, brother.
Yeah.
Come on now. I was 30 pounds lighter when we met, brother. Thank you both for having me. Wa alaikum salam. It's an honor to be the first guest, the premier guest on the brand new Nothin But The Truth with Jamil and Teasha. Glad to be here. Glad to be here.
Yes, we are glad to have you, my dear brother. We're going to jump right into the questioning, and I want to encourage you to get into the chat and the comments on Facebook and on StreamYard and on YouTube and ask your question, because this guest doesn't come around all the time. Brother Vaughn is one of the busiest men in the nation. You know, you've seen him. You see his face, and wait a minute. Isn't that the brother who supplied the music when the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called all the Muslims around the nation to an outdoor gathering and then said, brother, I want you to play music. Make the believers happy.
That's right.
And that's him. This is the same Brother Vaughn who supplies the soundtrack to our understanding of Islam through music, our understanding of the struggle through music. And I really want to congratulate you for one other thing. It's kind of obtuse and a little bit out of the way, maybe even random.
Uh-oh.
But in 1958, many of the great jazz musicians who were working in New York at places like Minton's Playhouse and the Birdland, and they were actually in the city at the same time, they went to the steps of a brownstone in Harlem. They posed on the steps of that brownstone, A Great Day in Harlem.
A Great Day in Harlem.
Everybody from Count Basie is on there, and Ben Webster is on there, and all of your favorites. They're all on there.
That's right.
But my Brother Vaughn, took the hip hop and musical communities of the African struggle community, the Nation of Islam, and posed them on the stairway in Detroit at Savior's Day just a few years ago. And so, brother, your cultural antenna is very sharp.
Yeah.
How do we do that, brother? How did you get started in doing what you do that makes you that fascinating?
Love. We're talking about years of growing up with your ear to the sound of the radio when you were 12 and 11 years old, and when most people got for Christmas a toy, a truck. I remember getting a boom box.
See.
With the tape deck and the one big knob for the volume switch and the one big speaker on the side and the tape deck. That was my Christmas gift, and I would lay my head next to two things. My pillow and that boom box that my daddy gave me for Christmas one day.
Yes.
Wow.
And on that boom box was all of the sound of Black America from 1979 to going forward. And I fell in love with this thing called Black music.
I love it.
Teasha, I see your hand. Go ahead, honey, and ask the question, because I got a couple more.
I was stuck on the boombox because I had one too.
Come on now.
I was just reminiscing. Did you get the one? Remember when the double cassette one came out?
Ooh, that was the big money came along then. That's when you knew you had some money.
Tell me nothing.
With the double D batteries.
I thought that was Radio Raheem. Yeah.
The stack of D batteries just stacked up in that bad boy. You know, and you can hear it on all the streets, WBLS.
Come on.
Blast out in New York or whatever city you were in, because we were tuned to one vibration. Generally speaking, now you're in an area of splintered entertainment. The question to you is, how do you navigate entertaining people who are not listening to just one main source of exposure to music? For example, back in the day, if you were in Miami, you all heard WMBM. And everybody listened to WMBM and Butterball in Miami. If you were in New York, as Sister Landra so expertly points out, you heard Frankie Crocker on the radio. If you were in Boston, you heard WILD, right? You heard the same thing on the station, on the radio station, that everybody else did. So your tastes tended to be similar. What happened in your era, and how do you deal with it in terms of providing a solid musical example?
I have a unique origin on that note, Brother Jamil, Sister Teasha.
Okay.
My father, may God be pleased with him, was an avid gospel fan. I am a PK, for those who don't know. My mother, quite conversely, was an R&B, soul, and funk fan. So when my father was out at Sunday service, if my mother didn't go for whatever reason and we stayed home with her, I was grooving to the sounds of Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
But when Daddy came home, it was Andre Crouch and Shirley C.
Yeah.
So, and My mother and I, it's a funny story. My father came home one day and was going through the records and found my mother's copy of Prince's album.
Ooh.
Itself.
The preacher found the Prince album. All right, come on with the story.
What is this doing?
Which album? Which Prince album?
The self-titled Prince album.
Oh,
I think that was album number 3 or 2. I forget. And needless to say, it didn't belong there. So most people were sneaking listening to Richard Pryor records in the early 80s, late 70s. We were sneaking listening to Prince records.
Right.
And funk records.
uh-huh.
But as that went from the late 70s to the early 80s in the MTV era, to your point in your question, we were exposed to so much because at that time, our music was not in mainstream media. MTV wasn't playing our music until Michael Jackson.
Right.
He didn't come along till several years later. So we had to listen to some of that stuff. And I found out, man, Duran Duran is kind of dope.
Come on with it.
You know? So we were exposed
You're a little too enthusiastic about it, but go ahead, brother.
Right. So we were exposed to white pop music, and we made it our own, and we continue to do so today.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Shantae's in the chat. She said y'all drove to church in a little red Corvette.
I love it.
There's a million of them, okay? There's a million of them. But the question then begs, as you grew, you had to respond to music, I guess, more according to the actual sound of the music. Was that what happened? How did that go?
Now, when you say respond, what do you mean by that case?
What I mean is that there are certain elements in music that are similar in spite of the differences of the lyrical content. If you listen to, take for example, Inez Andrews had a big hit called Lord, Don't Move My Mountain.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And in that tune, Don't Move My Mountain, you hear a bass line and a walking piano and a lot of right hand work on the piano that sounds like you could be in a blues club.
Mm.
And so there's similar sounds.
Now I understand.
The lyrical content. Ray Charles brings the sound of the church musically, but the lyrical content is a little different.
Right.
How did that affect you, and how did that deal with you as you moved?
It got, to be quite frank, it got me in trouble once when I was a little boy. I'll never forget, Brother Jamil. I was one day in church. My father was on my right and my mother was on the left, and we were sitting in the front pew. And just as you just said, the band was jamming and the guitar was laying it on and the choir was right in key. Mm-hmm. And we were all in the spirit except me. I was not only in the spirit, I was doing this, popping my finger.
Oh, no, you didn't pop your fingers in church.
Little did I know that was a no. And I caught a right slap to the head coming from this side.
Oh,
what I do? I was just enjoying the music. No, boy, you don't do that in here.
My grandmama, Golda Johnson caught me with that same backhand right for popping my fingers in church. She said, "This ain't no darn Roadhouse, boy."
I didn't make a distinction.
But I made the mistake of popping my fingers in church, and I paid a dear price, like you did. It's like you did.
And I realized, I can't do that here.
Now, this is not the place for that. This is not the place. Wow. Oh. And I want to just say this. There's in the chat, our dear sister and scholar from Memphis, Tennessee, Sister Jamil Muhammad, she says an interesting conversation about how we code switch musically. Mm. Would you agree with that, Brother Vaughn, Sister Teasha?
Absolutely. Because when that Prince record was at home, going off, we related to that as it was. And then when Shirley Caesar came on, yes, sir, we relate to that as it was.
It up. Yes.
So we knew what to do. When she started singing about the man out in the field, tilling the lawn, tilling the grass.
Mm.
Okay. All right.
I have a question. So I remember in my younger years, in my teenage years, I just loved music. I still love music. It just takes me to a different place. I lose myself in music, but I could sit for hours and just listen to music, just hours, back to back to back, all different kinds. And so that stays with me now. Did you have a particular group that you loved, or who was your favorite back in the day?
Oh, wow. Wow. It depends on the era. So obviously, as a man that is 40 years old, I'm a hip hop generation guy. But if we're talking about 79 to 82,
okay,
I was in love with R&B. I was in love with funk. I was in love with soul, because in St. Louis, there was a station in East St. Louis that kept those songs.
WESL?
That one.
That's the one. Yeah.
That one. I want to shout out, being that today is National DJ's Day. I want to shout out the jock that changed our lives, that made radio sing. We are talking about the jock of all jocks, Super Jock.
Come on.
My God. At that time, this brother used to have a show, and he would have rappers call into the show and rhyme over the phone.
Yes.
It was in the earliest days of hip hop, rapping over funk break beats. And my life was changed ever since.
Wow. Do you have any go-to break beats that you still throw down when you're on a turntable right now?
Now you're talking my language, brother Jamil.
That's what we're here for, brother.
You talking my language.
Which is it? Which one?
I don't know. I'm hoping I'm gonna ask your audience to go with me here.
All right.
Because when we talk about break beats, again, we're talking about those same era, them from Stax, that era, Memphis Soul, that era. We're talking about James Brown on the King label era. We're talking about break beats and the most famous one being, of course, the Funky Drummer. That record will never die.
From the album of the same name, James Brown, the Funky Drummer.
The break beat known as Substitution never gets old.
Really.
And I'm shouting these names. I don't know if they'll know these artists or these song titles.
This is the most knowledgeable audience in all of media.
Come on now. I don't want to underestimate them. Come on now, because I'm sure they know some breaks that I don't know. But this is the conversation that I love, that I can talk about all day. When the pandemic started, I was doing online DJ sets, and I called it Beats and Breaks. And I did an hour set only composed of those old breaks. And
that's the first time I heard you. And I think I was all over my kitchen, sliding all over the kitchen. I was tired when I was finished, but I was hyped. Yeah. I was like, who is this brother? Tanya told me about you.
That's my love, y'all. That's my love.
Yeah, I was hyped.
Wow, amazing. So breaks and beats. You talked about the Funky Drum, and I hope I don't become obtuse. Teasha, help me. Don't let me get off track or anything. But when you have, DJ Rockwell right here in front of you, when you're talking to Vaughn A. Muhammad, you got to ask certain questions.
Look at Sean. She's going to watch Breaking after the show.
Okay, whatever.
What was her? Yeah.
But here's the question, brother.
Well, Breaking 1 or 2, which one?
Right? Boogaloo Shrimp?
Right. Tougher than leather, all that. But my question is, when you consider the older break beats, like there are certain break beats that may have errors on them, but I don't know if they're classic. What's my man's name? Herman Kelly in Life. Dance to the Drummer's Beat. Okay, that's something that you do. What about Simande, Bra? Did you
I got them all.
that bottom minute, that heavy duty fuzzy bass down there. It's just Apocalypse. You're gonna love that one. That Simande is just really something, really something. Simande, and so yeah, but you became a real aficionado and a real expert on these wheels. Like, you're not playing. This is what you do. Have you ever doubted? Yeah, I know it's there.
Right.
Have you ever doubted your music? That's the first question. And the second, when you got it confirmed, what did Minister Farrakhan say to you? Are we getting in your business when we ask?
Get in it. Go ahead. Get in it.
Get in it. Yeah, go on. Get it. So, in the chat room, do y'all want to know what the minister said? Just put yes. We want to know what he said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Say yes. We want to know.
I actually have two stories where that concern the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, where I had the honor to be in his presence as it relates. And no, actually three.
He's showing out.
With the third story being our beautiful mother, Khadijah.
Oh, yes.
I'll start with that one.
Okay.
I'll start with that one. I was once afforded the opportunity, Brother Jamil, Sister Teasha, to get a call from our big brother, Brother Minister Akbar Muhammad, who has family here in the Georgia area.
Yes.
And they were doing an outdoor function and said, hey, I got the call from someone and said, hey, brother, I want you to come out to the house and play some records for his family. And so I packed up and I went. I got there and I'm seeing the beautiful Muslims come with their draped robes and the brothers in the ties and having a great time. And all of a sudden I see this motorcade pull up and I see our beloved mother, Khadijah, get out of the car and start walking towards the backyard where we were playing. And she gets right up to me. And at this moment, I'll never forget it. I'm playing, what's my brother's name? Barry White.
Right on.
And Mama stopped and looked at me like, and she mouthed to me, what you know about that? And she nodded her head. And she had a cane, but she nodded her head and went and sat down.
Yes, sir.
Somebody walked up talking about, that's my jam.
I'll never forget that day playing Barry and to see her smile.
Wow.
And now let me get to the two stories regarding our beautiful, beautiful, beautiful minister.
Okay.
We were once, we were in North Carolina at the Holy Day of Atonement, which was that year in North Carolina. And we were at the park. And just like the previous story, motorcade pulls up and I'm in full tilt jamming.
Yeah.
2012,
Brother Jamil.
I remember that day.
Oh my God. We were pushing it to the limit in terms of volume. And I'm thinking, oh, I better turn it down, you know? And then the team walked up and said, well, give me your mic. The minister want to say something. So I passed my microphone to one of the members of the E-team and they passed to the minister. He turned around, looked at me and looked at the audience and he gave us all the greetings and let us know how much he loved us and wanted us to have a good time. And he again just said, brother, you keep on playing and you give it to him. He said it just encouraged me to keep entertaining the people and have a good time. Yeah. And I'll never forget and how that ties to the last story.
Okay.
We think that the Muslims don't be having a good time, Brother Jamil, Teasha. The Muslims get it in.
Yes, they do.
Yes, sir.
We were in Detroit. Excuse me. We were in Detroit at a Savior's Day.
Yes.
And what made this particular time so unusual is it was Sunday. The minister had delivered the keynote, but there was a social function after the keynote address.
Okay.
That was unusual, but they called me and I came to play. And I did what I do. Room full of people.
Yes.
Packed. And there's various artists across the nation who were performing. And I get another walk up, tap on the shoulder. I'm trying to, and I'm, how we do with DJ. We can't, don't disturb. But I looked over again, one of the E-team members, brother, the minister might come in here, be ready. Here after the man. Brother Jamil, I'll be honest. I didn't believe him. I didn't believe him. So I go back to playing. I'm rocking and rolling. The crowd is just going off. And out of the corner of my eye to where I was set up at were the double doors that opened up coming into where we were playing at. And I see this, it was like an ocean of people moving towards me. So at this point, I have to turn to see what is this big movement. And I just saw a crowd of people. And as soon as they got close to me, that crowd opened up and I could see the Honorable Louis Farrakhan being pushed on a wheelchair.
Yes.
Right up to where I was standing. Because I was standing, the door was here and the stage was here. Ran by me, he looked, got up out of his wheelchair, walked on stage. And I had the privilege and pleasure to say the words that I never get a chance to say.
Okay, what?
Brothers and sisters,
yes,
the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
And the crowd goes wild.
Nobody could believe it. And again, they passed him the microphone. And the crowd is in shock.
Right.
And the minister said these words. These were his exact words. I heard y'all was down here partying. I wanted to come and party with you.
Yes, sir. What a beautiful man.
He then, and I close with this, because the crowd was mostly composed of young people. And he then, Brother Jamil and Sister Teasha, began to encourage them in their studies and said, don't shy away from the hard subjects. When you go back to school, we want you to tackle the academics. And then he turned around and looked at, of course, I'm speaking brevity here, but he looked at me and said, DJ, me.
Yeah.
Turn it up.
I remember that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's so much stories. Like how we often wonder about the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and because of the seriousness of his mission, many times we make the mistake of thinking that he becomes overly serious about everything, that he walks around all day with a frown cast on his face. But the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a man filled with joy. And there's no more dangerous person on the battlefield than a happy warrior.
How about
when you have a joyful soldier, you got somebody that will cut you in half and then whistle Dixie, because this is the way. Yes, they will. Because this is the way of the righteous, to be filled with joy. I remember the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and brother, this bears witness to what you said. We were able to go to a concert with him. And you're right, Brother Michael. He loves to see you in your zone doing what you do. But I remember going to a concert. We had to prepare the security for a concert, and the E-team was off work that day. So there were two of us sitting at the dinner table, both working in the ministry, myself and Minister Richard at that time, who was in Cleveland, Ohio. And Brother Akbar, Minister Farrakhan, turned and said, Brother Akbar, I think I want to go to the concert tonight. Akbar said, well, the E-team is off. He said, I'm still going to the concert.
Yeah.
Hello? So Brother Akbar looks around the table. He says, Brother Jamil, come on. And so I have to leave, get up from the table, hearing the fine hadith and table talks of the minister. I got to go. So I say, Brother Richard, come on with me. When we got in the car, Richard let me have it all the way down to the venue. How you going to pull me up from the Savior's table to go somewhere with you?
Yeah.
We made it to the place. A couple of things happened there that stuck in my memory like yours, brother. And that's what my next question is about. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, when he came in the building, he walked into the reception area where many of the most prominent Black leaders, intellectuals, politicians in the country had gathered for this benefit concert at the Chicago Theater on State Street.
Mm-hmm.
And as the minister walked in the side door clean like he always is, y'all know how clean the minister be. You
Right.
know, man. You know how he is clean.
Come on now.
On a rust-colored Nehru in a gabardine 160, clean and banging, natural buttons and a pair of gaiters to match. He was clean.
Oh man.
Clean. Stepped in the side door, and the people who were talking with all these luminaries saw him come into the door, and there was a massive influx of people toward him.
Okay.
They literally walked away from whoever else they were talking with and walked over to the minister. Myself and Brother Richard did the best we could. We had checked all the people. We did everything we could. The minister was there. People were striving to touch him. And one young woman said, if I could just touch the hem of his garment.
Come on.
She wasn't playing. She wasn't reciting no scripture. Now, she was sick and had been crying tears. And she walked over and she said, Brother Minister, can you touch the hem of your garment? I know I'll be all right. The minister opened his arms to her. Right? Just open his arms. Just open his arms. And she came over and laid her head on his chest. He didn't say a word, neither did she. She cried, he held her. Seemed like it could have been 20 or 25 seconds. But then I heard what the universal symbol of, okay, I'm about to stand up. You know what that is, right? When you hear.
Right.
She sniffed. And she stood up. And the minister held his hand behind her neck and said, it's going to be all right, sister.
Oh.
I watched Jesus do music.
Yeah.
I watched him do love. I watched him do healing. I watched him do resuscitation. Now, we don't be preaching on nothing but the truth, but I got to tell you what I saw.
Bear witness.
We went into the auditorium, and the headliners was Roberta Flack and Frankie Beverly.
Oh, yes.
In May. Roberta Flack comes out, and she comes out and sees the minister in the audience. She says, tell the band, wait, stop. This is a command performance.
Wow.
There's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. She bowed deeply at the waist.
Uh-huh.
And when she came up, she tore that stage up.
Yes.
And Roberta Flack is a cool performer. You know, she's cool, but she tore that stage up that day.
Come on now.
Frankie Beverly and Mays came out. And if you black on here, you never heard Frankie Beverly and Mays gone on leave.
You've never been to a barbecue.
You've never been to a barbecue. And you can't get into a barbecue over our house if you don't know Frankie Beverly and Mays. We blocking you.
You better come in a white linen suit.
Yeah, with the thick and thin socks.
Well, no, you can leave those off. But you have to have
Okay. Brother William always told me the thick and thins. He liked the thick and thins, so we buy them together. But I remember, Brother Vaughn, when Frankie Beverly came on stage and we all enjoying it. The minister, he does, Brother Michael. We're sitting there, and the ministers, and it's just wild to look over and see the minister saying, "Joy and pain,
come on,
sunshine and rain." He's our brother.
Yes.
He loves us and feels us, and that's what happens in your music, Brother DJ Rockwell, Brother Vaughn. Your music brings out the spirit of loving kindness.
Allahu
brings out the spirit of possibility and potential. Like when you leave his set, I know you were tired that day in the kitchen, honey. But after you heard these breaks and beats, did you feel good? Your spirit felt good.
I was so hyped. Wait, and then he was supposed to come back the next week, and something happened. And you didn't. You remember that? You didn't get to do the next show.
Disappointment.
I was like, how's he gonna do one show and then not come back? And Tanya was like, I don't know, but he'll be back. I was hot for real. I was like,
he'll be back.
That era was so fun, and people was like you just said, what happened? Eventually, what happened, Sister Teasha and Brother Jamil, Facebook cracked down on everybody that was performing, and they call those performances of copyrighted music over their airwaves, and they didn't have a license. So they were getting sued left and right by all of these publishing companies. So they said, okay, play another record again.
Well, that one session we got in was all of that. Okay?
Yeah.
It was working.
Let's ask him this, Teasha. What do you think? Brother Vaughn, can you spin something for us right now that's legal? I mean, can you hit us with a hit? I mean,
Let me tell you my all-time favorite.
I tell you, she's gonna ask you.
I'm stuck in the 80s. Everybody knows that. I am waiting now patiently for the Jerry curl to come back. All the styles come back, but that one won't return, and I don't know why. I'm waiting. I can't wait. My headpiece gonna be so greasy, but I just
The Jerry curl investors are waiting right now.
I'm waiting. But my favorite, the song I lose it on every time from the 80s is Run DMC, Peter Piper. I don't know why.
Oh, come on. That's like the DJ's anthem right there.
It's because Peter Piper picked peppers and run rock rhymes. That's why.
That one does it for me.
Yeah.
In high school, my all-time favorite was Kwame. Remember Only You?
You like the Boy Wonder, huh?
In my graduation, my Jerry curl was standing straight up, and I had a gold streak right here.
A gold
Stop playing.
I did. Then I went through the phase where, salt and pepper, I had to give it to him. My Jerry curl, I think I had a Jerry curl most of my life. But
y'all getting an exclusive right now on Nothin But The Truth.
Well, you're going a lot further than you really need to go. And you don't.
T. Farrell said the pillowcase killer.
No, I kept my curl back. Don't play, because it had to be just nice and juicy. Neck just a little shiny. Just a little bit, I was asymmetrical, blonde in the front.
Well, David, you have a mute.
I'm stuck now. You're taking me back.
No, David. Anyway, listen, and everybody who had the gold streak, Sister Catherine, you had the gold streak too. Bless all y'all heart.
Yeah.
But here's the question, brother, DJ question. From Peter Piper up against, beat to beat, up against sucker MCs. How do you do that?
My God.
It's a hard one, right?
That is a difficult task. I'd have to go Peter Piper.
Me too. I'm with you.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to tell you why.
Is it the bells?
The bells. You can't talk about Peter Piper and not talk about the bells.
Okay.
From the classic record Carnival by Bob James. That today I can just play the Bob James break and people will go wild just like it was Peter Piper.
Do it.
I'm just saying, while we got some time, while y'all want to hear brother spin a little something, just go and put it in the chat. Go just spin it. Put yes. Yes, y'all. Hot bun on the popcorn.
Not yes, y'all.
Toast, to the beat every ball.
I sure wish I was ready. I tell you what people can do.
What can people do?
People can go to SoundCloud.com/DJ Rockwell to hear my mixes.
Ooh, I'm going. One more time, brother.
Go to SoundCloud.com/DJ Rockwell.
Will somebody put that in the chat, please? SoundCloud.com/DJ Rockwell.
SoundCloud.com.
And I tell you what they'll hear there. And this is one of the big things that I can't come on Nothin But The Truth and not tell me this. Exactly. The Mardi Gras. It was his name of the break beat.
Yeah.
Not Carnival, pardon me. What I love to do, I am a big supporter of conscious hip hop music. And there are so many artists around the nation that are talented, that are absolutely hungry, and that are passionate about using this tool, Brother Jamil, called hip hop to reach our people. Yeah. So every year for the last almost 5 years, I have put out a mixtape with all of their music in one place where you can go and hear their music. So if you go to SoundCloud.com/DJ Rockwell, you can hear some of the best NOI hip hop artists that the nation has to offer. Right. Shout out to Apocalypse, Mike Money Bass. Oh man, the list goes. Shout out to Stress Free. Shout out to Greco. Shout out to artists like Problem 13. Shout out to artists like Heck of a Mecca. Shout out to artists like Hashim Hakeem. The list goes on and on and on. So many that are brimming.
D.A. Smart.
The list goes on and on and on. That's exactly right, Big Dave. That's exactly right.
Mhm.
And so many people don't know that these people are in prayer next to them at their mosque,
Mhm.
or paying charity at them next to their table.
Mhm.
And you might hear them say, "Oh, you rap? You rap?" I didn't know that, because they're so afraid to say they have anything to do with hip hop.
Now I don't understand that. That's an anomaly to me. And I know that time is winding up, teaching. I know we have a lot of other business to do, but quickly for me, brother, why would we have a resistance to the musical force, the sound that brings people to where we want them to be? For example, a lot of you in that 45 to 50 age group, you came here by means of Public Enemy and Most Def and Gang Starr, and you know all of that. You heard that, and that brought you here.
Right.
Why would you then begrudge the younger brothers and sisters from coming by means of hip hop as they envision it?
It's not our generation anymore. And I don't want to use this as an opportunity to browbeat the current generation.
Right.
But I do want to be clear that it's no secret that the message has changed.
Okay.
The messaging has changed. The imagery has changed. There was our generation, of course, was the X hats, the African medallions, the big sweaters with the black colleges on them. And now we see what we see today. There was I don't have to tell you all your listening audience, your watching audience who are in that age group that you just mentioned, the split is clear. So now when people think of hip hop or rap, in fact, they don't even use the term hip hop to define it anymore.
Okay.
People are turned off by it completely. So now when a believer today's, they're afraid to say they rap because they don't want to be associated with that.
Wow.
So they might just do it themselves. And here in Atlanta, I got brothers in Chicago, I got brothers in LA, I got brothers in New York, all over this nation who are brimming with talent. And they're just like, okay, and maybe I'll tell somebody I do this. And then there's others that are on the front line giving it all they got.
It's clear.
Golden child out there giving it to him.
Giving
Giving it to him.
Yes, sir. And I think, brother, and I don't want you to hold that point. I know there's some business we have to handle with Sister Teasha, and it's very, very crucial that we get to it. But I want you to stay with us, Brother Vaughn, because after we handle the business, I want to come back and ask you something that's going to tie you in with what we can do and how we can continue to spread this word among ourselves and among our neighbors and families and friends in our particular cities. Everybody in the chat, still let us know where you're calling from, viewing from, watching from. If you haven't already done so, please do that. Before we go to our break, thank you, Brother Michael, for bringing up the sinister Mr. Black, Brother Herman Muhammad.
Long live Herman Muhammad.
We have not heard that. That's Nation of Islam hip hop. There's a lion. He's asleep. I wonder who will wake him. I mean, just trust me. There's good music everywhere. Good music didn't stop at the end of John Coltrane's career.
Come on now.
Good music didn't stop at the end of Miles Davis's productivity or at the end of the Duke Ellington band. No, good music continues to this day. We may not be able to find good music. Doesn't walk up to you and just say "wham."
Gotta be fun. It does.
Okay. But
Michael is good music. Wake me up.
What is really going on here?
He doesn't like you.
We'll be right back with more from Brother DJ Rockwell, our Brother Vaughn Muhammad, in just a moment. Sister Teasha, take it away. Let's go to work.
I'm stuck now. That's that George Michael. Shantanya, where are you? I need backup. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I hope that you're enjoying the podcast so far. So I want to come to you and ask for help from the believers, because we need help building the platform. We want to make this the best that we can be. So we need some equipment to help us grow and make the little, the little sound effects and things like that. We want to have the proper equipment. And so I'm going to appeal, me and Brother Jamil are going to appeal to you guys for your help. There is a piece of equipment that we need called a roadcaster. And a roadcaster is something, like I said, that will allow us to play the music and just take the show to the next level, because we want to always present ourselves as the best. So I have a screenshot of this piece of equipment that we're trying to get. And we're asking for donations of love from the listening audience. This roadcaster is $5.99. We're asking for 8 people to donate $74.88 each to our Cash App at $BrotherWorks. And then if 8 people donate that, we'll have enough to purchase the roadcaster. And then we can start making, taking the stream, our platform, to the next level. And remember, what we're doing is for all of us. So when you come on, when we bring you on under our segment of I Bet You Didn't Know, remember the Bet You Didn't Know segment that we talked about last week? That's where we highlight different people in the community and what they're doing in their areas. We're going to be able to make it look so zesty when we have it go through the roadcaster.
Zesty.
It's so zesty. If it's not zesty, don't come with it, okay? With the roadcaster, we'll also need a special microphone. So there's a screen shot for that. I want to show you that real quick.
Will that microphone make me sound like Luther?
No, that's the other microphone that I declined. We don't want that one. We want this one for $59. So a donation of $59 would take care of that. And then there's a microphone stand that it goes on. Let me show you the screenshot of that. Right here. No, that's me. Right here. That stand is $29.95. Right. And then one last thing is just the cables to hook it up with.
Okay.
$9.85. So these are the items that we're asking for help with to help take the show to the next level. Okay. Again, you would just Cash App any love donation that you have to $BrotherWorks. And we'll be
actually going to go $BroWorks. Because if you say brother, some people will put a THE in there.
Oh, that's right. BrotherWorks goes to my purse. I'm sorry. BroWorks.
Yeah, I got you.
Right. This is so fun.
Yeah, it's great. And I really thank everybody. Look, here Kia says, I got the stand, I got the cables. Shantae says it'll be in, and it looks green and orange.
That looks like the Rattler colors.
Sending you a mic from Florida A&M University in Tallahassee. All right. Sister Amina, thank you for coming by and enjoying the show. Brother James, my brother from Cincinnati. Brother James, always good to see you. One of the stalwart soldiers in the great city, Mosque number 5 in Cincinnati. So
I love it. Everyone, please don't forget to inbox or put in the comments if you're interested in being in the segment that we are developing called I Bet You Didn't Know. Because again, remember, this platform is for all of us. This is good, clean, wholesome fun. We're all going to grow together. We're all going to share our talents that Allah has blessed us with each other. We're going to patronize each other's business. This is your time to shine. So I want you to put in the chat if you are interested in being a part of I Bet You Didn't Know.
Mm-hmm.
And because of you, Brother Vaughn, I bet they didn't know that I'm going to go ahead and resurrect my rap career, because I was a rapper in high school. Okay. I rapped every lunch period, me and Stacy.
I need details. I need details.
Fresh females, okay? We were the first ones at school with our true high tops.
Fresh female.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm bringing it back out. I was T Love. She was Classy T.
Don't tell nobody about don't.
I mean,
it's your fault, Brother Vaughn, but I thank Allah for you. Yes,
indeed. That visual notwithstanding, brother.
The Jerry curl wasn't enough for you?
It wasn't enough. I had it more. Let me just ask you this, because it's amazing, brother Rashad.
Rashad.
It's good to see my brother, but I tell you, and Sister Katina, you knew there was an undiscovered connection between you, the rapping in school. Okay. And I'm sure that some stories are going to come out.
The disrespect. The disrespect.
Family, we're gonna about to wrap it up and go on home now. We're on the runway coming back into the airport. But I want to ask you a question, dear brother, before we go. Music is very essential to our lives, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad once said to us that if we understood the science of music or mathematics or medicine or the science of color and the actual tones of the rainbow, that we have insight into Islam and spiritual truths. You already have that understanding of music and how to apply it. You see, you're like a musical pharmacist.
Allahu Akbar.
In many cases, you're not the musician in the studio making the music, but you know how to apply it.
Yes.
Just to get the right effect. I'm going to put this on you and drop that on you. And so my question to you is, what do we do now musically? Where do we go? How do we make it happen? And how do we continue on the path to progress, freedom, justice, and equality?
Wow.
I absolutely love that multi-pronged question, and it inspired a story. Can I tell a quick story?
Sure.
To bear witness to what you just said?
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning of my DJ career, me and my mentor, whose name was DJ Pepe, who has since passed on, may Allah be pleased with him, would take me under his wing to open at a club called Club Hollywood in East St. Louis. This was in 1992. And for any of you who know anything about St. Louis, it's a little rough there on the east side of town.
Mm-hmm.
A little? All right. Okay.
Brother Jamil, and see, we didn't get to the club until 1 a.m.
Wow.
to set up, to start playing at 2 a.m.
Yes.
And if it wasn't a fight, it was a good night.
Okay.
And I want to talk about what I learned about the power of this medium called music. It is not a lightweight medium.
Okay.
I will never, ever forget. Now, this is in the late 80s, early 90s, when in St. Louis, gang violence was a real thing.
Okay.
And I will never forget, I was the opening DJ and Pepe was the closing DJ.
Okay.
I reached to play a particular record. I reached and pulled out and put on the turntable a Spice One song. And before I could drop the needle, he touched my shoulder and said, "Are you trying to get a shot?"
Oh.
He said, "Don't play that record here."
Mm.
And I thought he was joking. I looked at him. He was
Right.
It's just a song. Little did we know then, or that I understand then, that what these rappers was saying would encourage these cats to fight on the spot.
Yes.
If I played a gang affiliated record, you was going to cause a fight. And I didn't understand. How did a record cause these dudes on the dance floor want to hit each other in the mouth? That didn't come to fight. Another record at that time that bear witness to this story was, and we couldn't play this depending upon where we were, was Ice-T's Colors.
Oh.
As soon as you drop that record and that bass line started, you started seeing gang signs getting thrown up in the crowd.
Colors.
And depending upon what set you were, where you was playing at, take that record off because you about to start some drama. Stop.
Right.
This thing we call music is everything brother just said and more. It is a mineral. And I heard Chuck D say this. It's a mineral. It is a natural resource. What we are playing with here is the ability, and as us, and I'm gonna say this for National DJs Day, us as DJs have the ability to set tone, set mood and literally control the mood and vibe and feel of a room by the records we play. I always like to call it a roller coaster. I'm going to take you on a roller coaster on your memory of your emotions by the records I play. It's truly a science to what we do. And for those who have done it a while, understand this. Musicians understand this. If I play this certain note, if I play with certain energy and aggression, I can get a certain emotion in the room.
Yes.
Same thing with the records that we play in the order that we play them. Now, to your question, as I close, big brother, we have the responsibility as artists, and yes, I'm saying DJs are artists.
Yes, sir.
We have the responsibility to use this natural resource called hip hop wisely. It can be a tool to build. It can be a tool, as I just proved a moment ago, to destroy.
Right.
Our open enemies have had this tool in their hands and have used it to the detriment of our people. On my show this past Saturday, I talked about the weaponization of hip hop and how our open enemies are taking this tool and they're putting all of the spices that inflict us in a bad way, that inflict harm upon us. And we don't know that we sipping our own death via music.
Right.
So we have a chance now with the NOI Hip Hop Network and those who are righteous, even that are not in the nation and have something of substance to say. We have a chance to turn the ship and weaponize it against our real enemy.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Wow. Weaponize it against our real enemy in defense of our families and our children.
Yes, sir.
It's a powerful point. We're going to stick a pin in it for now, but we have to secure from you the commitment to come back.
Come on back.
You got to come back, dear brother.
I can't. Guest number one. What an honor.
That's right. We are so grateful to you because what you've talked about, first thing is going to make me call Brother Gary on the phone right now. Brother Gary, the guitar player from Bloomington, Illinois. Brother Gary Muhammad, if you haven't got his CD, Shadows of the Mahdi, that's what the name of it is, from CD Baby, go get that. He's our musical director. But we want to make sure that until next week, we let you know how much we love you all, how much we appreciate you, how much we thank you for your candor, your openness, and the gold stripe and the Jerry curl. We appreciate all of that. And honey, I just want to let you know I love you. I don't care what. I'm with you.
That greasy headpiece. I think I'm gonna do it anyway.
No.
I just
Dave. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. As always, this has been Nothing But the Truth.
Congratulations, y'all.
Peace.